Hi everyone. Today I'll be reviewing Greenland by Sparling. The logline reads, "A disgraced father is determined to get his family to what in 4 days will be the only safe place on Earth." So this has Neill Blomkamp attached to direct and Chris Evans attached to star in. Sparling is by no means a new screenwriter. He's probably most famous for writing Buried, that starred Ryan Reynolds. And so I was very interested to check out the script because it's written by a professional, and I like end of the world slash disaster type of film. So I was interested in seeing this story play out. And I read in an interview that essentially the goal of this story was to write it from the perspective of a family, single family, ordinary like American family, and seeing how they would deal with an event like this. So we're not seeing it through the eyes of like a military or through a NASA scientist or through someone who's actually going to be able to stop this asteroid from hitting the Earth. And instead it's going to be told through the perspective of a family just attempting to survive. So the first 10 pages essentially set up the characters. We have John, who's the father, Allison, who's the mother, and Nathan is their type 1 diabetic son. And essentially there's some conflict between John and Allison, and we're not really sure what it's about, but we can only assume it has something to do with infidelity, or he works too much, or they were on the brink of divorce and now they're trying to give it another shot. And basically they get hit with this news that via radio that an asteroid is going to come in and hit Earth in about 4 days, and that's going to obliterate all life on Earth. And the government actually knew about this beforehand, and they've arranged for a lottery system where some families that are selected will be able to live in underground bunkers and attempt to ride out the phenomenon and then rebuild life. And it turns out that John, Allison, and Nathan are selected. So this is all in the first 20 pages. So I don't want to say too much more about the plot. I think if this sounds like your cup of tea and if you like the idea of where the script is going, then I think you should check it out and just see how this plot evolves. It's not really so much, there's not really any spoilers. It's just essentially what the script says, which is it's about a family trying to survive. It has a very War of the Worlds like feel to it. I would say it's a mishmash between War of the Worlds and Deep Impact. I have not actually seen Deep Impact, but from what I read on Wikipedia, it seems like it's very similar. And but Deep Impact tells a story from multiple perspectives, like scientists and astronauts, and this one is just from specifically the family itself. So I want to start with the good in the script, and there's a lot of good with it. So overall, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed the setup. I enjoyed the story. It was very fast-paced, which is what you'd expect with an end-of-the-world disaster film, but it still found those moments, those quiet moments where we could just sit with the characters and breathe with them and let them talk and interact. And I appreciated that aspect. So the first 10 pages, as I said, set up the characters, and that was very crucial and very important because it allowed us to empathize and relate with them and make us care about the characters. Because if we don't care about the characters, then we're not going to care about what happens to them or what's going on in the story. Structurally, it follows all the same beats, like, you get the inciting, first you get the setup, then you get the inciting incident on page 15, and then, the story progresses. I thought there were some great moments of suspense and tension in this script. Particularly, I really liked how when they're selected to in the lottery to go to the underground bunkers, the neighbors kind of see the military coming and they get very suspicious, and they essentially try to stop them from going or trying to get along with them, and they have to escape from their garage while all these people are clamoring at their car. I thought that was really great suspense and drama there. Another particularly suspenseful scene was when they have these electronic bands on their wrist that allows them to go into the bunkers, and this family tries to steal it from Allison and kind of tricks her into getting her into their car. And it just essentially showed how the typical like cliche thing where thematically, when the world's about to go to shit and everyone is out for themselves, how self-preservation kicks in, we lose our morals and we do bad things. But there's something appealing about that. I like those types of, end-of-the-world disaster films where that type of morality is questioned and it's explored. And so I thought that part was good. I like the characters. There's, like I mentioned, conflict between John and Allison, and yet you cared for them, you understood their flaws, and you grew with them and appreciated it. It didn't feel artificial. It felt like they were it was naturally evolving from the story. So like I said, overall I enjoyed the script, but if I had to nitpick, I think there were some things I think in general the script could have used a little bit more originality. So for example, we've got the kid with the insulin pump, so it's either like an insulin pump or an asthma inhaler. You have the concept of the underground bunkers, you have the concept of the lottery system, you have these moments in the script where essentially characters are in this huge massive crowds. As you can imagine, they're all trying to clamor to get a spot on the cruise ships, and yet somehow magically these characters separate and then magically are able to reappear and they are able to find each other. And it's just like, realistically, if you're in a crowd of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, how are you actually going to be able to find each other? And this happened like not just once, but I think 2 to 3 times in the script overall. Like he finds a teddy bear on the floor that reminds him, and I get it, like there has to be a way to connect the people together, but sometimes it took me out of the story a bit because I'm like, it seems very, very kind of these convenient types of coincidences going on. But again, this is really me just nitpicking the script, and I think like I tend to be very, very critical, and I think I have to also go with my gut and my intuition. And my gut tells me I actually really enjoyed the script. I wanted to see how the story would end, how it was progressing. And so in hindsight, I think, yeah, I could have used a bit more originality. Like I said, I didn't see deep impact, but from what I read on Wikipedia, from the plot, there's a lot of similar threads going on, but that's okay because the vantage point, the angle through which the story is explored is told solely through the perspective of family, very similar to War of the Worlds, and I appreciated that. I liked it. I think it would make an interesting film if it ever gets made. And so yeah, so I enjoyed it. So let me know what you guys thought about the script if you read it, if you're interested in it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.